Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage, and we are finally going to start working on the DeLorean Roadster. So people have been asking ever since we got the car, all the time we get questions about project cars that we buy and just kind of put on the shelf for a while. The DeLorean Roadster, basically we got it, and in the background I've been gathering a lot of the parts that were missing for the car or that were hard to find. And at this point I've basically got everything we need. We've got a couple of engines we could use. A bunch of the stuff we were missing, we basically have at this point, and really we just need to do the labor and get the work done to take the car apart, put it back together. So today we're doing like the 100 car shuffle. We got like every car almost out of the shop, and we're gonna let the old lift down and pull the DeLorean Roadster off. We're actually gonna swap the 33 3-window onto this lift because there's not as much going on with it right now with the engine kind of getting worked on. There's not a lot that needs to be rushed on that car. So with us having pretty much everything for this, we can just start doing the work and hopefully turn this car around in short order. So this is video 1 of the DeLorean Roadster restoration. You go in like almost straight under the running board and catch on the axle. Alright, let's start that out. Normally you could just pull them right out, but the car sits too low in the front. Okay, hold on. Make sure
steer it a little bit.
We're gonna probably have to drag the ass over with a jack.
Yeah.
You sort of remember. Ready?
Set off a little bit.
Let me let the lift down. Jack down. That's what the problem is. Ready?
Okay.
There we go.
Alright, now
we get it.
watch the front.
You watch, see what. Can I go further or
Yeah,
gotta
you
come
can
back?
still, I mean, we could spin it 180 and put the ass over there. I just gotta, eventually we're gonna have to pull back. Clear over there?
Yeah, go over here, yeah. Yeah, plenty of room.
Soon we're gonna push.
Put your jack under and just pull it out here.
Watch the back there, please.
You're good back here.
Pull through the seat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Before we push this back here, I want to sweep up some of that metal.
Yeah, well, we'll close the equipment here. It's gonna, I think, the dolly's gonna catch it. Yeah, come over just a hair. That's good.
Well, the other thing I was thinking is, all right, so we got the car in place. We're just going to start taking some of the stuff off. A lot of the items on the front end of this car, we literally just mocked up like the day I got the car home just for fun. So this stuff should come off pretty quick. And we're going to pull the engine, which again, I just have mocked up with a handful of bolts. And hopefully it'll come apart fairly easy, fingers crossed. So hood first, I think. You just fold it up. Grab like here in the corner so you don't get a pinch. There it goes. Straight forward. You got it? Hold on. Got it.
Alright. You just gonna walk up the ladder.
I'm gonna see what I can do.
All done with that crap.
No, I do go up on that. Usually only a 6 or an 8 foot ladder.
Right.
Like they want to come off, but they will put the eyelid on the
I don't feel it's got much weight to it, so I don't think that's too much problem.
It's more in the back than the front.
Oh, we got the shifter there, I forgot about that. Hold on, let me drop it. Let me drop it down.
You don't have the whole, you just have the tower on, you don't have the whole thing?
Yeah.
It's not so much. We killed it with.
Grab that. We need another block. Oh no, that's good.
Stable.
Yeah, this card, a flathead came with this card just like this, and this is what I've used it for. You can just leave them all on.
ain't gonna be real heavy. Thinking that they're gonna want to slide in.
How far, you want it as far out as possible?
I would think so. Somewhere from there.
Probably not drag the machine around.
All right, fine.
Keep going. Run over the tire. I gotta get the fenders over the tire.
Go for the straps.
There go more. There go more. You hold this corner, I'll get on the other side.
Okay, yeah, I got it. I'll get rid of that bar.
I'm gonna grab some jack stands. This fender has been off before, I can tell.
That fender looks newer than the other one.
I sprayed this whole side with a satin satin clear to try and test if it would bring the black paint back. So that's why it looks better than it was. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, go ahead. I think it'll be all right.
It's down.
Good. All right, so yesterday my dad and I got the DeLorean Roadster body all taken apart and off, and we got it on this body cart. This body cart we got in Tennessee when we bought a bunch of 34 bodies and parts. Pretty much as expected, it is pretty crispy down in here. This is where, when this thing was sitting on the lift, it was just getting rained on inside the car, and as expected, it's really bad in here. The bottom of this driver's door, I don't even want to talk about that. It's miserable. I'm going to be trying to get some pieces to fix that. But overall, the body's pretty solid. We welded those bars in, and we were able actually to lift off the front of my bar, and then this crossbar that somebody had welded into the body to stiffen it up at some point. That came in handy. Frame is kind of as expected. There is some crispy spots where I'm going to have to do some welding right in here on this top flange, kind of as expected. It's right where the rust is the worst. On the sub rails, it's gotten down into the frame and it's thin here, so we'll be taking care of that. You can see how they did the modification for the pedals here down in there. So that's where they set it up for juice brakes. They had done some modification, and yeah, so that's kind of neat how they did all this different stuff. And we got to blow all this apart. The last thing that's really important that we have to be very careful with is this rear roll pan. That's part of the identity of the car. So we definitely want to make sure we're careful taking it off. I'm kind of excited from a fabrication standpoint to see how this was made on the inside. So when we get it off, we can flip it over and kind of inspect it, which will be cool. But the goal now for today is Dad and I are going to get this all blown apart and hopefully have this stuff ready to take to the blaster.
How about this? Do you need more of this right, left and right?
That'll be alright. That one I should be able to figure out. What's that? Okay. Should be able to roll the front suspension out now.
But your cargo, your,
Yeah. I know. You have that hammer still? May need this. Oh, okay. Lovely.
Because it's,
Yeah,
because your hoist is in all kinds.
It's not even on the frame. No. It feels like there's a bracket somewhere. What's this? That's a hanger for exhaust. I think it might just be that stuck. Nope. Just fits that well. Nope, that's all it was.
Never mind, screws it in at one time.
No, they go through here. They just hold the wiring for the plate. They got like a plate mount built into it. That's super cool.
Oh, you already got loose
Yeah, just
connection, but just a twist wire there. That's the wire's just twisting together. That would have been great.
yeah, it's got a cool little plate mount in the back here. It'd be interesting to take that little.
There's a light here.
Yeah, they even have lights on either side. But yeah, you can see the little light bulbs. That's a pain in the butt to change.
Well, yeah, because you'd have to take that, you
Take
probably have
the-
to take that off
Take the whole cover off.
to change it.
Slide it over once it starts lifting. probably easier if you turn it sideways.
Lay that down.
Yeah. A lot simpler. I think we just stand it up here, and I'll get the trailer. I'll move the trailer to it.
Pretty much once it breaks loose, it's
As soon as it starts moving, so what I usually do is, when you're hitting it with that, you'll see it start going down, and then it's going to get to a point where you got to have this. So what I do a lot of times then is I switch over this quick, and you knock the nut off all the way, and then you can go down through. But I usually try and get it down to where it touches the nut, then you switch over to that, and then you can switch back to that and punch it the rest of the way through. Another day with the fire wrench.
It was an exercise in futility.
touching air.
Done this a couple times. Not even a challenge anymore. Those ones weren't bad. You do those super rusty ones, they're like, gotta get the axle red hot. All right, so Dad and I got the Roadster all blown apart. We have a small pile we're starting here of things to be blasted. You can see the frame is pretty crusty. So it seems fairly solid in most of the spots, but it is just flaky and ugly. This reminds me very much of when we were working on the Shrill Coupe. It looked really bad, and then we had it blasted, and it was actually not that bad. So we're gonna have to do some repairs on this frame for sure, but I think we'll be able to save it without too much problem. We got the drop axle all taken apart. Pretty sure this is an old Dago drop axle, which is really killer. Wishbones all apart. That stuff's, a lot of the stuff what we found when we were taking the car apart was that like the brakes and a lot of the stuff on the front end were all brand new. We pulled the drums off, really nice grease, brand new axle seals. The shoes were brand new Ford shoes with like no wear on them. The drums were clean inside, like they were cut and put on and barely used. So the front end of the car and a lot of the parts were probably almost like new when the car was put together. And it probably didn't have that many miles on the car when it was, after it was built. I don't think it was driven a ton. So that stuff's all there. We got the running board, some parts over here. We're gonna be dipping some parts in our dunk tank. That'll be a little easier. Our buddy Brooke will be blasting some of the bigger parts like I mentioned earlier. The running boards are really crusty and worn. The rubbers are gone, so I have some better original running boards with rubbers that are worn, but not totally junk like that. The gas tank, as expected, is pretty much junk. It's got all kinds of crap and rust in it. The most important part is this, where this little thread-on cap is, and this neck where they welded it, so I'm probably just gonna lop that off, junk the tank, and then I'll get a brand new reproduction tank, and I'll just weld this section into that tank, so that should be good. We got the body on the body cart. It looks cool, just like sitting in the shop. Like that is a pretty awesome look. So that'll be kind of fun to look at for a little while. The body is rough inside. It's really bad down in here where it was raining on it, especially the driver's side. The inside of that door is really, really bad. Sub rails are pretty bad till about like right here. So I don't know if I'm going to do full sub rails or try and keep some of the original metal and section them in right here. I'm probably going to be going to Brookville and getting some parts from them. So I'm going to try and hit them up, see if we can partner with them a little bit. But either way, their stuff's good. So I'm going to be getting some of that stuff to patch the car together. Maybe a bottom section of a door, etc., because I don't think I'll be able to find like original stuff for that, or it'll be difficult. But plan is get all the mechanical stuff and different pieces blasted, get them all cleaned up and painted, and then we could start kind of putting the frame as a roller back together. In the meantime, I'll be working on some rust repair, and luckily we had most of the stuff for this car kind of sitting around, so as we get some of the labor done, it should start to come together pretty quickly. But we got to get this stuff blown apart, do the ugly bits. I'm really happy that we got the mess cleaned up. There was literally a 5-gallon bucket full of rust and debris that my dad swept up and we threw away. So really crazy, but
You have to save that. You can't throw it away.
original Henry rust. I'll dig it out of a trash can. We can start mailing it out to
Okay.
people. But so good start on the DeLorean Roadster. Really excited to get this thing moving along, save this car, and I'm excited to see what we find when we start tearing into it a little further and see if we can find out a little bit more about the history of the car. So thank you guys for following along. Appreciate it. Catch you later.